Abby today because Corey is out on vacation in Hawaii. But while he's out, I wanted to talk about something that has been a pretty big impact on my job search, informational interviews. It's actually how I got my job here at Boly Welch. I started off as a workers' compensation defense attorney, and if you're wondering how I made the gap from attorney and medical records to recruiter at an awesome company like Boly Welch, it was through informational interviews, because I had been at that point in maybe 4 interviews in my entire life, always on the other side of the table being interviewed, but just found a passion for recruiting. And to make that gap, I had 11 informational interviews with different recruiters around town. It really helped me learn the lingo, and so I reached out to Boly Welch for an informational interview too. I came in, I was pretty confident. They gave me like 15 minutes on the calendar, but I thought I could get maybe a half hour, an hour out of it. So I put in 2 hours on my parking meter, ended up coming in. It was 4 hours later, and I got the job and a parking ticket. But it's ended up being a great ride for me. But I want to talk about informational interviews because they are the best way to get a job. The statistics that I've seen, 1 in 200 resume submittals will get you an interview. 1 in 12 informational interviews will get you the job. And those are the kind of odds that I like to play with the job search, because it can be really frustrating and really dehumanizing. And that's actually one of the 3 reasons I think informational interviews are amazing. First, it really does put a human face on the interview. Informational interviews are a way to get to know people. You know, when people say, oh, just reach out to your network. Your network is not static. It's always expanding. And it also taps in a bit with the, I like to call it the Ben Franklin effect. It's a psychological, I think, apocryphal story. I think it's pretty apocryphal, about Ben Franklin. He had a tractor that was pretty, he would badmouth him quite often, and Ben Franklin asked him a favor, and after that their relationship totally changed. And it's kind of this idea that if you ask people for favors, they become invested in you. And informational interviews are an incredible way to get people that don't necessarily know you on your side. Second, informational interviews are a great way to really learn the language and the dynamics and kind of what a job actually looks like. Like, you can look at job descriptions all day long, and they may or may not tell you anything. And then third, the odds are just so much better. And it does keep you, when you're trying to make any kind of career change, that you can explain your story in a way that makes sense in your career arc, why you're making the move, what you're actually looking for, so you're not being screened out for being overqualified or not having transferable skills. You can talk about your transferable skills. So really, I can't think of a better way to get a job. Informational interviews will get you the job 1 time out of 12. And follow along, as always, #humanjobsearch, and we'll see you next week.